What is up, everybody? It's episode 02 of the Golden Mic. We were not canceled yesterday. Why? Because I got to cancel myself. We are with my boy, Johnny B, who is the founder of Relentless Coaching, both in terms of nutrition, physical coaching, and life coaching. He's put them all together, and he's going to talk about some things that we could all use when it comes to being a little bit more relentless. Now, I met you, Johnny B, at a coach's training. Johnny B was wearing the exact shirt at the coach's training. And so I thought that I would return the favor, son, and show you some stuff.
Right.
No. I actually feel like it feels like Chris Farley, like in that one episode of Saturday Night Live, when he was like trying out for the Chippendales compared to you.
Right.
This guy is legit, and we're going to talk about Relentless. Just in case you haven't met me, my name is Mark Cordone. I help people with feeling great and performing at an optimal level with their passions. I'm an author and a coach, but we are really here to talk about you, Johnny B. Johnny B, what's your story, man?
All right, dude. So basically, most recently, the story is pretty long, right? So we'll start with the most recent, I guess. Over the last year, I've put together my own company. It's Relentless Personal Training. Okay. And I've been personal training for over 10 years. I used to be the head trainer for UFC gyms. So we did the fight training thing. I've worked with every type of person you can think of. And in that time, man, I've always focused on the personal training aspect and then the nutrition aspect. And when I would give that to the clients, it's either going to be pass or fail. They're either going to adhere to it or they're not going to. So through that time, I kept on trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And the parallels between personal training and life coaching are so similar, man. We've got catabolic energy, anabolic energy. When we go to personal training, we can go to catabolic if we're not eating enough, and we can go anabolic if we're eating plenty, right? So all of a sudden, I'm seeing all these parallels.
So before we go further, what is catabolic energy and what is anabolic energy, Johnny?
Okay, so anabolic energy, life coaching, terminology is definitely going to be that positive energy, man. You're feeling good. You're going out there. You're pushing. The more you push, the more you feel good, the more positive you are. That's going to be that anabolic. Catabolic is the complete opposite, man. We basically have two levels of that. We've got the first level, which is you're like the victim, lethargy. And I see that, man. I'll see that as a personal trainer. I'll see the client come in and just kind of self-defeated. I've tried it before and blah, blah, blah. And then there's the next one, which is the one that this guy resonates with a whole lot of times, man. That's that level 2, and that's that anger thing, right? So we all have those issues, but it's all about getting past that, right? Growing past or being relentless and pushing past no matter what. Nonstop, focus on the goal and keep going at it. And so that's what I try to instill onto the client.
Gotcha. So moving out of that anabolic or catabolic space, that space that kind of weighs us down, and moving to that space of growth. Right? If you're feeling what John just said, give us a like, give us a love, give us a one of those wow faces, right? Especially if you've ever felt like you've been in a place of feeling stuck or feeling like a victim and you've gotten out of it, right? Because that's what you essentially do, John.
Right, exactly.
Right? Okay, so before I go forward with this, I'm going to ask you, like, you look like you wear literally your heart on your sleeves.
Absolutely, man. Definitely.
So what do we got? What do we got going on, man?
Okay, so I got a little bit of everything, Okay. I guess starting with a few of them, man. We got the 333. I don't know if you can see that one going on here. That's just the number that I've always seen, man. Today when you sent me the first live link, 333, that's when I went down. So it's a number that just kind of I just kind of follow along with. That's just a thing, right?
Yeah, I'm laughing because I put 333 on the big screen right now.
Perfect. Temperance and deprivation, that's two things that I personally had to adhere to stop living the life that I was living. Before this, I did music for a long time, over 200 songs published for BMI, for TV and film, songs on the radio. I was a rock star kid, dude. And my nutrition supplements of choice were Jägermeister and Heineken, as opposed to protein shakes. And then before that, man, I grew up in a pretty weird situation, dude. My teenage years starting at about 13, I grew up in a house where they let a bunch of runaways move in. And it was pretty intense, dude. I remember going in there, meeting the head guy, And this dude was about 6'7", had F off tattooed on the back of his neck, big blue mohawk. I thought these guys were like the coolest people on the face of the planet, right? I'm 13. I'm like looking at these guys like, wow. I helped one kid literally build his satanic altar in the corner. That's the room that I had to sleep in. They would feed acid to
he slept in a satanic altar.
Yeah, like in the room with the altar, not at the altar. They never put me on it. I never got sacrificed or anything. But just give you an idea what these kids were going through, man, how messed up when they were way older. These dudes were 18, 19 years old, and I would go on drug runs at 14, man. We'd head out to Texas, and I would just be in the back seat we did some crazy things, dude. I almost died way too many times. And there was a lot of abuse that took place, man. They would send us out to school when I was finally in high school, man, as a freshman. They would tell me, you're going to go fight these senior football players, and if you lose, you're going to lose a finger. Or I have scars on my back to this day, dude, where they beat us with horse whips and all this kind of stuff. I'm not trying to bring the whole situation down and bring it negative. A problem is going to be bringing the positive out of it, right? That was my issue. And so, dude, things went on for years like that, man. And the school that I went to, one of the coaches literally hit me with his truck in the parking lot. He would send the football players after me. There was no one I could go to. There was no one I could turn to. The teachers didn't trust. 3 of those teachers from that school are literally in jail right now for sleeping with the students, just to give you how crazy of a twisted world it was that I lived in, you know? And just to kind of paint a picture.
I need to ask you, what kind of football coach runs over you with their truck? Like, it sounds like the dodgeball school of, like, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Like, if you can dodge a truck, you can, like,
you survive anything, right?
Yeah, right.
It was that mixed with the Water Boy. Have you ever seen the Water Boy with Adam Sandler? Yeah, that's like the school I went to. Like, what am I gonna do? Yeah, totally, man. So anyhow, man, I survived through that, dude. Every day I had to sit there and push and push and push. And I put together my crew, and we stuck together, and we just led and made it through to the other side. And it took years, man, of kind of starting to find out and going to therapy and things like that, all this post-traumatic stress that I went through from that abusive time. Okay. And so anyway, what ended up happening, man, is living those experiences and growing past that. I always thought strength was this. This is where strength is. If you can win the fight, you're the stronger guy. You start to grow up, man. You start to realize that it's not about that. Strength is being able to hold those fists back and find out what's really going on in the situation. And most of those people that are out there that are at that level too, they're needing help. That's what's really going down. And that's where I started to resonate. So
let me ask you this, Johnny. What was the turning point for you, man? Because that's something that even in my coaching practice, and I'm like, hey, what's up, everybody? Positive psychology. But sometimes I still want to put up my dukes like that and just go at it. Like, what was the turning point for you, especially given the story that you told us before? Yeah.
The turning point was a few things. One was getting out of that situation, and that situation I got out of just by the universe put into play. A lot of those dudes ended up in prison, and so then I kind of became free and got out of that. The biggest turning point for me was when I gotten into personal training. I started lifting weights and things like that, just trying to be a little bit healthier for myself. And then I started working at the UFC gym. And at the UFC gym, we would fight. I worked there 7 days a week, like 9 hours a day. We just sit there, train, fight, and teach classes. And there's something about when you're sparring with somebody and you're going at about 70% of your effort, and it's okay. You know what I mean? It's almost like a mosh pit. You go to the metal show, and it's like, dude, I'm going to knock the hell out of you, but we're brothers. You know, it's that kind of.
You let them back up. You let them back up.
That's it, dude. And so then I started to realize, like, okay, so this violence different. And so that was a big turning point for me, man, realizing that, you know, the fist and punching things really doesn't solve everything at all. So what really is going on? Why am I feeling that way? And for me personally, it was separating the 3 sides. There's my thinking, there's my emotions. Then what else is there if that's not who I am? So who am I, right? It's like the question of the ages, man. And so that's where it really started becoming a self-exploration. And I started to find out I wasn't this guy that wanted to go out there and do this. I was wanting to have my hands open and help people, dude. And it makes you feel a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. Now, how was that when you started presenting yourself in a different way to the world, man? Like, were people like, yo, you're the scary guy that...
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, kind of, sort of, dude. And I moved out. I literally packed up my crap within 2 weeks and moved to Orlando. So I went from Louisiana all the way to Orlando. I said, dude, I got to change my entire everything, dude. And then I said,
you lived in Orlando?
Yeah, in 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks. I packed my crap, went to Orlando, and made myself a deal that, like, within 2 years, I'm going to make some music happen. And within those 2 years, I put together a band. We got a couple songs on the radio, and things were kicking, dude. And then all of a sudden, I found myself starting to go back into that spiral, dude. Big fish, little pond, you know? And I was like, dude, I'm getting sucked back down into the whole thing again. So at that point, I was like, dude, I need to
about that catabolic space again. Even if you get out of it, you can get pulled back.
It's always waiting for you, man. That black hole is always behind there. If you see these hands, everybody always asks, what's up with the hands, you know? And behind me, you might see that H.R. Geiger poster, that Giger poster I got back there. I'm a huge Giger fan. And it's the hands from Aliens, you know? And those hands represent all the evils of my past. Those teenagers that abused me, the coaches, everybody. And for the longest time, they held me in place. Now I take them and I drag them with me every step, every day, dude. I bring them with me because that's helped make me who I am. And now I've got the strength to take that with me. And I've got the strength to forgive them for what they've done, you know, and just let it go.
Oh, I would like that if I could like that, but I can't right now because
I
don't have the appreciation. I can't do that. But thank you.
People don't like it. They can definitely like it. You know, if they resonate with that, man, it's definitely throw the thumbs up or maybe some love, man. Give me a heart. You know,
you taking over the golden mic already? Am I getting kicked off as the host?
I just got the silver mic.
Well, I want to talk to you about this, man, because Relentless. Like, when I hear the term relentless, I definitely hear it resonating with you in terms of escaping some of those claws that held you back.
Yeah.
But now it's almost like you pivoted on the idea of being relentless, and it's still important to you. Like, what does relentless mean at this point in time to you?
To me, it's definitely all about a consistent, constant force pushing you in the direction of whatever goal you set forth. Logically, knowing obstacles are going to come our way, so you have to be prepared for that. Okay. I don't think of a wind-up toy that's constantly walking into a wall over and over and over again. He's relentlessly going nowhere, right? So our goal is to relentlessly get past that wall, man. And I see it in every aspect, man. That the traumas that I went through helped make me who I am. So I've gained a lot of bad experience from that, but I gained a lot of strength from it too. And it's dividing that out, you know? So, yeah.
So that sounds like the mindset of being relentless, right? There's, it's not only putting in the energy, but also not continuing to pound into that wall, like knowing how to get over and use that energy to get over those barriers.
Absolutely.
So when working with your clients, when working with folks, or working with all of us here, what are some things that you have in terms of tips on being relentless?
Okay, so a couple of things, man. And with relentless, I kind of have a 3-part thing, right? So it's kind of 3 different sections that I put together, like we talked about. It's going to be the personal training aspect, the life coaching aspect, and of course the nutrition aspect.
Okay.
And then looking at it, the machine mindset. Okay. So that's kind of the first thing, which we just talked about, is definitely getting into that mindset. And this is super important. Okay. So a lot of people think, okay, relentless mindset, that means I got to do as much as I can every single day, over and over. I'm doing 2 a days, blah, blah. No, not at all, dude. It's all about figuring out what works for you, doing it smart, aggressively, without getting injury, and then knowing when to quit. So I've got people that show up with freaking test flu A, man, coming to the session. I'm like, what's up, dude? Like, oh yeah, you're supposed to sweat this out. Like, not here, you're not. You need to go. I'm gonna start wearing a hazmat suit to my sessions. But yeah, things like that, man. If you're sick, if you're injured, you need to relentlessly heal. You need to relentlessly chill the hell out and let your body heal, man, and relax. You know, so that's kind of the machine mindset that goes with the relentless.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I'm glad you're addressing that, Johnny B, is that whether it be athletics or whether it be entrepreneurialism, there's sort of that, you conquer the thing and you look at the next thing. How can I move forward to the next piece? And you don't even think about your self-care. Yeah. And so the idea of relentless self-care, what a great way to like approach that. Because if you're thinking about playing long ball, you gotta not burn out.
And that's the word I had in my head was burnout. Like I would change instead of relentless personal training, burnout personal training. Like within 3 months, I'm going to grind you to death, and that's it. And then get the next client. And I think a lot of places do that,
So that's the machine mindset, right?
Yeah.
What's another thing that we can think about in terms of being relentless?
Is going to be the nutrition aspect, dude. And that I call feed the machine, right? So nutrition to me is right below the mindset. First, we have to have the strong mindset to actually adhere to the diet, adhere to the workout protocol. Again, that's where the life coaching is going to come in, inner outer blocks. We get that taken care of. You're on point. You're ready to get this done. Nutrition is next. I don't care what your goal is. Getting size, losing weight, you have got to eat correctly. There's no one diet that's for everybody. If there was, you go to diet.com. I don't know if that actually exists or not. It shouldn't if it does. But yeah, you would just go there and we'd all do the same diet, right? And that's not going to be the case. How carbs affect me might not be how they affect you. Or maybe I have a more intense job, so I'm expending more calories. There's all these different things that go into effect, right? So feeding the machine correctly and efficiently is going to be step number 2. And like we were talking about the other day, I've literally turned down personal training clients because they could only afford one or the other, either my nutritionist or me. I say, go to the nutritionist first. I'll see you in about 2 months, and then we'll go ahead and get your training protocol on.
Absolutely. And I want to just back you up, bro. Like, I just got off of a call with my nutritionist right before this call.
Yeah.
And she was straight up saying, if I want to be an optimal performer, I need to really think about the way that you're framing it, feeding the machine. Yeah. Because it's one thing for me to go into meetings and to network and to be, I'll drink a Coca-Cola here and then I'll stuff up. Oh, my goodness. I was telling her I can't give up Girl Scout cookies right now. And she's like, that ain't happening. You're giving it up right now, because if you want to be clear, if you want to have the machine mind, like you're saying, John, you got to be able to feed the machine. So that's what I'm hearing coming from you.
Exactly, man. That's exactly correct, dude.
I shouldn't fire my nutritionist.
What's that?
So I shouldn't fire my nutritionist.
Not at all. She's definitely.
Okay. She was pretty hard on me.
Yeah. As much as you wanted to hear me say that the Girl Scout cookies were okay, she's definitely correct on that.
I was hoping you'd validate that, man. Oh man, peanut butter thing. Let's not talk about that right now.
So, and that's the
thing. What is the third piece?
That third piece, dude, going back to the machine deal, is going to becoming the machine, right? So we've got the mindset, we're thinking it, we're feeding the machine, we're fueled up, we're ready to go. Then becoming the machine is literally getting the correct exercise protocol set for you. I've seen a ton of people. I've worked at a lot of different places, man. Orange Theory Fitness, UFC gym, a bunch of different gyms. I've done classes, boot camps, this and that. Everything isn't for everybody, So depending on what you're trying to do and what your goal is, you need to figure out what works for your body to make you go that way. Another tip that goes with that, and this is super huge, man. I used to say this before every single class. For day one on a client, we're having that consultation. And so I'll ask them, okay, so what's kind of like your goal? And they kind of say the same type of stuff. I kind of want to put on some muscle, but I also want to lose some fat, but I don't want to get too big and blah, blah. It's the same kind of stuff. But then they'll usually give me an example. And they'll give me, I want to look like whoever it is, a dude, Chris Evans will look like Captain America, and then the girl will say she wants to like some actress,
Gotcha.
So at that point, you need to stop thinking about what they look like and focusing on that, and you need to think about what they do to look that way. That's the key, man. If you can do what they do and do what they do in the kitchen and do what they do in the gym, the look is coming. It's a side effect. It's just a benefit of living that lifestyle, and that is being the machine.
That is freaking awesome, man. And I think one of the big things is that people will often come in thinking that if I adopt someone else's template, then I will have the exact same outcome as that person. And I think one of the things is that when it comes to the machine, it's not the collective machine. It's you as a streamlined machine and what works for you. And if you sometimes follow the footsteps of somebody else, you won't have the same outcome. Is that what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Okay. If I started eating what The Rock eats on a daily basis, you'd be able to like roll me down the street like the girl from Willy Wonka, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like, I'm not to that level, man. You can't just do that. And also another really good point is let's say I was way overweight, right? And so it's like, okay, if I'm 300 pounds and I should be 120, you don't just start eating like a 120-pound person. Everything has to stagger correctly in a healthy way, dude. That way your body doesn't adapt and we keep moving forward. That's what it's all about. That's how we break those plateaus as they come.
Gotcha. So a real systematic process that is catered to you. So Johnny B, you got this sort of trifecta. You've got this amazing story. How can we get in touch with you? What can we do to follow up with you now?
Okay, so yeah, definitely Facebook message me. That's one of the most popular ways. I get PMs all the time. You could always go to my site. That's relentlesspt3.com. There's going to be a contact section. Just throw me a message. Dude, I am down to answer anybody's questions anytime. You don't have to pay me for that, okay? Anybody that wants to have a consultation, tell me what you're doing. What classes are you taking? What kind of regimen are you on? And what can we fix to make that happen? Maybe all you need from me is just that one little piece. You got your exercise protocol on point. You got your nutrition on point, but you just don't want to do it. The life coach guy, right? And all of a sudden, no, my mind's right, my exercise is right, but nothing's changing. Nutrition guy, right? So it's no matter what, we got this covered, man, and all three. And one more thing I want to add to it is with Relentless, I have a training app. And I hate using the word app because app like just waters it down so much. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, everybody's got an app. I got this, whatever app. My training app is literally me on the other side of the window. When you do the Relentless app, I set up all your workouts specifically to you. It connects to MyFitnessPal, Fitbit. You can Skype me, instant message me. I could put you in a group with your friends. All the workouts are programmed. When you put your workout in, you put in the weight, the sets, it comes directly to me so that I can sit there and progress it. And so that way you literally have a 24/7 coach all the time. So I've got people I'm training all over the country, man, making huge results just using the app because now they know what they're supposed to be doing. It's about collecting that data.
That is so rad. And I think one of the biggest things about having the correct coach and having the correct trainer is getting the correct feedback. And it sounds like you're not using the app to just put out sort of mindless ideas out there. You're really using it to get feedback, use the data, and really cater something very special to your clients.
Exactly, man.
Johnny B, I'm leaving up your website, but I don't know if you know this, but this is the reason why this is called the golden microphone, man.
Right.
The last part of this is a part that I've never talked to you about. And because you don't follow me on Facebook and we just talk on the phone all the time, you don't know that I do this. So the last question that I'm going to ask you is, if you were given a golden microphone, and you might have had a golden microphone when you were in your band, but not like this golden microphone. And this golden microphone translates into every single language. Every single person in the world will hear what you have to say. And I flip the switch and it goes live and you've got 2 minutes to say something. What do you say?
That's no pressure at all, buddy. That's nothing at all, right? Yeah, dude, I guess what I'd have to say is there is absolutely no obstacle too big for anybody to overcome. And by obstacle, it could be absolutely anything, man. And I'm talking to kids out there that are in abusive situations. Been there, done that, dude. It's going to end. Time's your best friend. You're just going to have to sit there, be relentless, and push through. And do not, what I used to think was you become the beast in which you fear, right? So if I had these dudes beating on me, well, guess what, dude? That's where I'm going to do. No, that's the weakest thing you could possibly do, man. When you have these people coming at you doing these different things, that's a weakness. Don't join the weak, right? Other obstacles could be whatever may be, job transitions, relationship issues. There is no obstacle that you cannot survive through. And I guess other than that, man, it's stick to it. Figure out what your core values are, what really is important to you, which a lot of people have no idea, man. How many times have you done a life coaching session? It's like, what are your values? They're like, define value, like money, it's like, whoa. So getting through and finding out exactly who we are, and then let your intuition, let that other part of you, not your feelings, not your logic, that other part of you, let that guide you through. And I promise you that's going to get you through any possible obstacle that's going to come your way. and always ask for help, man. We're out there. People like Mark putting together all this kind of stuff. There's a ton of people out there that are there to help you. I'm one of them. I'm not looking for $1 here, man. Y'all ask me any question, anytime. I will be there to answer it. So, yeah, I guess that's what I'd have to say in that situation.
Okay, perfect, because I'm switching your mic off. It's time for me to
there it
talk
is.
again, man. I was getting jealous of what you were saying, and I want to roll up my sleeves again.
Right.
Johnny B, y'all, if y'all haven't met him, give him a like, give him a love, share this out, because hey, you might not be taking $1, but what you're doing is pretty priceless, bro. And just keep being relentless. I know you don't need to hear it because you've done it yourself. You show up, you're unapologetic. And yo, all I gotta say is thank you. Y'all, Golden Mike, we return tomorrow. We got Walter Aguilar. He coaches NHL players. He's a life coach for other folks, and he's going to talk about what it's like to get over your slumps. So keep on following us. Johnny B, thank you so much. It's Mark Cordone. Feel good. Do amazing. We'll see you soon. I told you, Johnny B. Did you have fun, man?
Yeah, on point, bud.
I shouldn't have rolled my sleeves up, man. That was embarrassing.